First 5 minutes you will not find. Historically, Pine Hill Wood Products has had no significant bad debt experience with its customers. Okay. Cash sale is 10% and payment for credit sales have been received as follow. 40% of credit sales in the month of sale, 30% in the first subsequent month, 25% in the second, 5% in the third. Okay. Forecast is given for the total sale, Jan, Feb, March, April, May. Due to deteriorating economic conditions, means the general economic conditions is going bad, Pine Wood Products has now decided that its cash forecast should include a bad debt adjustment of 2% of credit sales. Yes, sir. Due to deteriorating economic conditions, Pine Hill Wood Products has now decided that its cash forecast should include a bad debt adjustment of 2% of credit sales, beginning with sales for the month of April. Okay. So you will start with sales for the month of April. Prior to that, you are not going to do any adjustment. The 5% collection in the fourth month should be reduced to reflect the bad debt. Means instead of 5% last month, 2%. Sorry, 3%, 2% will be bad debt. Because of this policy change, the total expected cash inflow in April related to sales made in April unchanged. In April, whatever you have sold, you are anyways going to get 40% of that. This 3% will happen in April, May, June, July. There is nothing in April to be done. That is why it's unchanged. It's clear, na? Should I repeat again? Because of this policy, the total, reading each word very carefully is important. You have started taking printout. Not taken, na? Because of this policy change, the total expected cash inflow in April related to sales made in April. So, if whatever sale is made in April, cash sale 20% will come there only, 40% will be collected in April, 30% in May, 25% in June, and 3% in July. So in April, so there is no change because of this policy. The change 2% less will come from July. There is no budgeted forecast change from the month of April in April. It will happen from July. Is it clear? How many of you got this wrong? Should have read it more carefully. You guys took the printout, ma'am? Always read it very carefully. This was given as homework. Huh? Is clear to everybody? What else was there? Uh, we might have to change class because there more students are coming. Here less students are there. I don't know what he was thinking. So if which what else is there? Union. Two IDs for the same lecture. What I can understand. What is the answer for this? This was a very straightforward question. Discount, that means people have made mistakes if you are not getting this answer correct. Not got this correct. All got this wrong. No, as I can see 17,000, how it cannot come? You are telling cash is collected within the first 10 days after the month of sale. So Jan, the money will start coming from Feb only. In the month after sale, in the second month. They are asking for March. So first of all, February sales will come. Arey, one by one, na? February sales 3 lakh 35. 60% of that will be collected into 98%. What is the amount? Hmm? 188,000. Is he correct? 188, 160. Is maths correct? Before I move ahead, just confirm me. Is maths correct? Huh? Now you are telling 188. Now in February, what do I have again? Remaining 30% will come. 3 lakh 35 into 30, that's 1 lakh something. So 1 lakh 5 plus. Now from Jan, 10% will come. 3 lakh 20 into 10, 32. Now cash sale of March will be collected in March only. Should be done. You did not include cash sale. Did not take print out. ना yesterday office was closed. ठीक है कराओगे अच्छा तो करोगे नहीं फ्री है एकदम this was given E. I'm guessing this nobody has a problem. See, more and more students are coming. I think we should voluntarily tell. What's the answer? Ah, done. How many total questions were there? Anybody got 12 out of 12 correct? Nobody. 11? This row, two people. This, oh, good. Good, good, boys. Good, good. 10? Okay. 10 this side. Balance, I'm guessing 9 and 9. Should have been better. 8 or less? Nobody. Good. You also got good, man? Very good. Dramatic progress. Okay, let's just again a very important portion which we have just completed. Huh? I think she attended yesterday, right? Online. I hope you had no problem, right? Yeah, it's very common. It's not a big deal to attend it from there. You will understand more or less everything. Of course, the muted portions, but those muted portions will generally not include part of the class. I have that much experience. And if I forget, you students generally tell, sir, you are on mute. So it's not a big deal either. No. But ideally, attend live because in home there are a lot of distractions. Okay. So cash is taken care of. Now let's move towards cash payments. There I will solve just one, max two best case scenario, and rest everything will be homework. Two classes I have already put it out in the group. I don't know how many of you actually watched it, but I don't know the record. But I think the recording is in sequence only. So last week I don't know what I was teaching. I started with sales budget from last week. No, no, cash budget was at the end now. At the big production sales, okay, started. Okay, so those people will still struggle because sales budget there was a rhythm, but cash budget is separate. So prior to that, I think you still have access to some recordings, right? If you have missed classes, go there. Make sure to watch the recordings because these are for 2 months. Make sure to clear all your doubts by then. I think most of you have solved this question, Karmi. So it will be a relatively easy task for me. I'm solving first this question only. Kami company has been accumulating operating data in order to prepare an annual profit plan. Karmi company has been accumulating operating data in order to prepare an annual profit plan. Details regarding Karmi's sales for the first 6 months of the coming year are as follows. Estimated monthly sales January 6 lakh dollars, February 6 lakh $50,000, March 7 lakh dollars, April 6 lakh $25,000, May 7 lakh $20,000, and June 8 lakh dollars. Type of monthly sale, cash sale is 20%, credit sale is 80. Collection pattern for credit sale. Now this all was relevant for cost. Karmi's cost of goods sold averages 40% of the sales value. This is the cost. Karmi's objective is to maintain a target inventory equal to 30% of the next month's sales. And here they are talking about in units. See whether it's units or price, they have not given units anyway. So we'll have to consider it at cost only. Purchase of merchandise for resale. So whatever they purchase for resale, that is paid in the month of following the sale. So if they have purchased something in January, the payment will be made in. Now, first of all, here we are talking about suppliers, because cost of goods sold means you are buying merchandise, means that is the cost of the goods that you are selling. So this is merchandise and all. Carmi's objective is to maintain a target inventory equal to 30% of the next month's sales in units. Again, the entire pattern will flow: closing stock, opening stock, and purchase is paid in the month following the sale. So January, whatever you have purchased, everything will be paid in February. February, whatever you have purchased, everything. See, the formula is, and this is more of an understanding. For those who know, very well. For those who don't know, fine. Here it is. Sales is the revenue. Cost of goods sold is the cost that has to be adjusted against that revenue. COGS equals to opening stock plus net purchases minus. Now if cost of goods sold equals to opening stock plus net purchases minus closing stock, in that case, if I transfer opening stock to the left hand side and closing stock to the left hand side, mathematically the signs will change. It is same only. Purchase also works around the same concept. Goods sold plus closing stock, same. So once you have cost of goods sold figured out, opening and closing stock can follow 30% of cost of goods sold. You add and less, you get your purchases anyways. Note it down kindly. Is it done? So first paragraph is all talking about only purchases. Now we are continuing to the second paragraph. They are telling the variable operating expenses, because other than costs purchases also there are other expenses. So variable operating expenses other than COGS for Carmi are 10% of and are paid for in the month following the Annual fixed operating expenses they have given below in this. All of these are incurred uniformly, evenly throughout the year and paid monthly, except for insurance and property taxes. Insurance is paid quarterly. Property taxes are paid semi-annually. Annual cost is advertising monthly, divide by 12. Depreciation is not a cash outflow. Depreciation of an asset is simply a book entry to record the systematic and rational allocation of asset over its useful life. You purchase an asset today, you don't write it off in P&L right away. Instead, you take it to balance sheet. And if it lasts for 10 years and the cost was 6 lakh, every year you record 60, 60, 60. But cash is not going out because of that 60. So this is a non-cash expense. Insurance quarterly they have told. So it will be 1 lakh 80 divided by 4. So every time they will pay 45,000. Property taxes they have said semi-annually or 2 times. So 2 lakh 40 divided by 2. Every time money goes out, it will be 1 lakh 20. Salary, of course, 10 lakh 80 divided by 12. Now, what are they asking? The total cash disbursements that Karmi company will make for the operating expenses. They are not asking they are asking for other than COGS during the month of April. Now, let's summarize the pattern one by one. Hi, Vignesh. I was remembering you yesterday only. अरे आ जाओ यार कभी कभी क्लास में ऐसा क्या है COGS they are not asking. So in this question I am ignoring. Now one by one I will summarize. First, variable operating expense. They are telling it's 10% of sales and paid in the month following the. Now they are asking for the month of April. So I need the sales for the month of March, because March variable expense will be paid in April. So what is sales in March? 7 lakh. 7 lakh. So March variable operating expense will be paid in April because they are asking April, na? And March variable operating expense is 10% of March sales, not April sales. It has to be same month sales. %10 of first part done. Only I have done variable operating expense. I am moving ahead now. Advertising, they have said nothing about it. So divide by 12, because this line they are telling all of these are incurred uniformly, evenly throughout the year. So every month. One question we did yesterday also, same. Let's summarize for fixed cost then. advertising 7 lakh 7 lakh 20 na? Divide by 12, that is depreciation 0, because it's a non-cash outflow, it's just an expense. Insurance, and April is one of the months. See, insurance is paid quarterly in Jan, April, July, and October. If it was May, insurance would not have been outflow. For April, insurance is outflow. Insurance 1 lakh 80, divide by 4, because April is one of the months. Property taxes. See, property taxes are paid twice, but one month is April. If it was May, March, then property taxes would not have gone out. But here it will go out. And finally is salaries. 10 lakh 80, divide by, add it all up. And remember variable expense also. At 70K. Add it all up. What's the total? Huh? 3 lakh. Let's see. Please. A lengthy question makes literally no difference if you read it and break it down. Once done, please let me know. And take it in two parts. This is the question. This is the option. Now, what if this question was asking, let's say, that, okay, they will not ask, but if they were asking for purchase during the month of April only. Now, in that case, cost of goods sold will come into the picture because see that they cannot ask so much of data because it's not possible to solve that in the time that is given for an MCQ. But in an essay type, it can still be put forward. So you will have to calculate cost of goods sold for April, but also for March and May. It is similar to that question you were solving, purchase budget. First, you need to calculate purchase. Once purchase is figured out, then only this pattern works for payment of suppliers, that supplier is paid in the next month. This you guys will do. I'm explaining it right now. Oh, cash balance, they are asking. Cash budget to make. Huh. Same question, they are asking purchase that will be made during February. Please, I think I have explained whatever was required for February. So you need cost of goods sold for Jan, Feb, and March because closing stock, opening stock, and it's 30%. Follow the purchase budget trajectory. It's similar to that retailer question that you were doing in purchase budget. First, sales, remember the cost of goods sold is only 40%. So bring it to purchase value and then apply that closing stock and opening stock 30% of next month. Only this paragraph is relevant here. Sorry? Options 254, 266, 338, and 260. Got the answer? Hmm? Huh. Note it down in your copies. Option once and for all. Every 2 minutes, I cannot go back to options. What's the answer? Hey Bhagwan, purchase budget has been done. And you are other people's teacher also. Nobody is able to get the figures. 2,66,000. Good. You both are saying the same thing. I'm assuming you guys are correct. Huh? 2,66,000. Good. 66. Four people. What's it's A or B? B. Good. Four people are saying it. Five. Good. Six. Out of six, five are boys only. And they have done very well. None of them got okay 12 out of 12, but all of them were standing at 11 out of 12. Okay. You need cost of goods sold for January, February, and March. The closing stock for January only becomes the opening stock for February. And the closing stock of February will be based on cost of goods sold of March. 30% they have told. What else is required? Finally, student got the answer before teacher. I'm not going to anyway solve this question. I'll move it. There is nothing. 6 lakh into 40% is 2 lakh 40. 6 lakh 50 into 40% is, I guess, 2 lakh 60. 7 lakh into 40 is 2 lakh 50. Now there is nothing left in the question. Closing stock, you can simply take March cost of goods sold data, 30% of that. Opening stock will be Jan, look at Feb, then carry forward. Chalo, I'm done with this question now. This is the problem. People have forgotten purchase budget very, very quickly. And this is not a big deal, it's human. But that's why revision is very much important. A similar question was there in purchase budget. I remember retailers, where I told you profit margin has to be eliminated because retailer buys at cost but sells at selling price. So purchase will always be made at cost only. Same question, there is no difference. This is a good question. I am reading it for you. I am explaining it thoroughly. Please solve it, but first focus. The following information concerns Montero Corporation. Purchases January 42, February 48, March 36, and April 54. Sales January 72, February 66, March 60, and April 70. Collection from Montero Corp's customers are normally 70% in the month of sale and 20 and 9% in the 2 months following. 1% is bad debt. Now from here our question starts. Montero takes full advantage. Company takes full advantage of the 2% discount allowed on purchase paid for by the 10th of the following month. That means if something is purchased in January and if Montero pays to its supplier by 10th of February, 2% cash discount. This is the language. Montero takes full advantage of the 2% discount allowed on purchase. So his supplier is giving him this benefit. Paid for by the 10th of the following month. and he is always paying full money by then only. That means whatever was purchased in Jan, money will go out by 10th of, but only 98% because 28% will be Feb 10th, March 10th, and April 10th of May. Purchase for May is also given, are budgeted at 60, and sales for May are forecasted at, what is the cash disbursement for expenses? This is expenses, wages, advertising, electricity is expected to be 14,000. So they have told you that other than supplier 14,400 cash balance at May 1. Forget about this. What are Montero's expected cash disbursement for May? Nothing much you have to do. Apart from supplier, they have given 14,400. Calculate how much will be paid to supplier. Add the both the figures. That is your total cash payment for May. This so can be done in calculator only if you are decent enough. Hmm? D. Okay, ma'am. I keep on forgetting Kavya, na? You keep on changing your seats. It's very difficult to remember names when people keep on changing their seats. Good. I hope all of you will have your answers ready. See, Vignesh has given me the answer. Eh? Okay. Gunjan gave answer long back. Sorry, I was not looking. I thought Vignesh has given. That is, I told you, तो irrelevant. सारा भी सीख लोगे. That is for cash budget. I will. Have I taught cash budget yet? Then why are you hurrying? Today only I will explain. अरे ABCD पढ़ो अभी क्यों A for apple अभी पढ़ना चाहते हो? Why? So why you are telling you have a doubt? Does he not have a voice? No, that's part of cash budget. I'll explain. That is the final portion. Cash budget. Don't worry. I'll teach. This will be your homework. I am not going to discuss this now anymore. Everything is same only. Done? This is done, na? Huh. Interest and all is their homework. Done? This will be your homework. Done? This is your options. 297, 272, 262 and 345. Done? This is also your homework. I know. You guys have formed a group. Okay. Now let's see, because all my 90 percentile account student, how to solve this? Or how many of you become three? Just graduated, nah? Still in second year. Become. Graduated or become? Become, become, become. Tell me how to solve this. In preparing its cash budget for April, the following projections were made. Sales 40 lakh, gross margin 25%, gross profit. Decrease in inventory 1 lakh, and decrease in accounts payable for inventory 2 lakh. For April, what will be the cash disbursement for inventory? Take 3 minutes. Give me a calculator. You are also become none. Huh. B, 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 B. क्या है सबका आंसर आंसर यूज करो यार कम से कम they have got an answer at least. If you are not able to get anything now, that will be sad. Correct or wrong is irrelevant. You got something, ma'am? Huh? Now, how it will work? See, I like to call this missing figures. I will also need a lot of this while teaching section A accounts. Cost of goods sold formula is opening stock. Now the best part is in MCQ, you don't need accurate figures. You need figures just to match the MCQ. So sales is 40 lakh and gross margin is 25%. So cost of goods sold is 30 lakhs. This too should be not a confusion, right? Anybody confused in this? I don't know opening stock. I don't know closing stock. They are telling decrease in inventory, 1 lakh 60. I just need to put random figures so that maths matches. I'll put the most random figure. Opening stock 1 lakh 60. Purchase so I don't know. And if it has to decrease by 1 lakh 60, closing stock should be 0. This is called random figures. Nothing to do with the actual figures. But maths is matching. You want to put 2 lakh and 40? Go ahead. You want to put 2 lakh 50 and 90? Go ahead. Only the maths needs to make sense. That decrease in opening and closing stock should be 1 lakh 60. Now I take this to the left hand side. Now purchase is available. Now I can actually talk about payment. We always make a ledger, T account, or as we generally call it in traditional accounting, a ledger. Or creditor. The creditor normal balance is credit because it's a liability. All liabilities generally have a normal credit balance. So the opening balance is generally buy balance and closing balance is generally to balance. Ledger always balances each other. Now they are also telling decrease in payables is 2 lakh 75. So opening is, again I will put random figures. Opening 2 lakh 0. Again random figures. The journal entry for purchase is purchase debit, accounts payable. In the accounts payable ledger, it should be posted on the buy purchase. The ledger has to tally The total has to balance. So this side is, this side also has to be 31 lakh. The balancing figure, if I talk about cash payment to supplier, the journal entry is accounts payable debit, cash. Anyways, this is the balancing figure to cash. For those of you who understood by this, very good. If no, second part of the formula. I hope till purchase to everything was clear only anyways. Now, we always say purchase equals to closing, or actually cash payment equals to cash paid to suppliers equals to beginning balance of AP plus net purchases minus closing balance. This will also give the same thing. Beginning balance is 2,75,000. I am taking again random figures just to make sure maths matches, because decrease is 2,75,000. Purchase is 28 lakh and this is 0. Answer will be same. Is it clear? For those of you who understand, I have done nothing in the formula. I have just taken the ledger and created a formula right away. Is it clear to all of you? If you have understood till cost of goods sold, second formula is cash paid to supplier. And for those of you deeply from the commerce background, I think this will be a lot more simpler if you know ledger posting. This is called random numbers by me. I use this concept a lot to teach PP also, PMA also. La, 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 la. Very quickly. What is the meaning of paradox? Paradox. Paradox. Don't worry, I will not name the college where I was asking this. They are all convent school kids. None of them could answer. And their accent, if you hear, you like, yeah. Paradox means something which seems contradictory, but deep underlying it's correct. Behavior can be paradoxical, contradictory sometimes, not murder English. And those, because I was dictating them something and I said paradox. They all looked at me like this. I had to Google to make sure that I'm correct. I got in doubt, na? 80 students, all well educated, speak in a better accent than me. I had to Google and find no, I'm correct. Read. Develop a habit of reading. Reading newspapers is a must. Today, physical newspapers are not required. Go and read e-newspapers. My English is little bit decent only because I read newspapers from the time I was 7 till the time I was 27 every day, just for the sake of it. No interest also. Because my teacher told me if you want to make sure your vocabulary or vocab as a whatever is good, you need to read. So make reading a habit, not reels. Read 2 pages a day, it will be really beneficial. And I advise this to every student today because working today means you need to write also English. Chat GPT has made your life a lot more easy, but still it is difficult because I see a huge difference when they are writing and when they are speaking. Sentences need to be coherent, they need to make sense with each other. And for that, you need to read. Read books, read newspapers, make a have hobby. This is same question, take this as homework, only one portion left, cash budget, then I'm done. And that is the most complicated part. If it comes in your MCQ, you are dead. Hopefully it will come in your essay type only. This I have given now homework. Hmm? So this I have only solved. Okay, this is the homework. I will solve one or two questions. These all I will not solve. Today I plan to finish this and also start variable overhead and fixed overhead budget. Next week onwards, I plan to start either A, I'm planning to start A so that many people who did not or who missed the last few classes, at least 3/4 recordings are there, can work upon B and revise B. But I may start C also. It all depends on my. But B, C, D, this is the core of part one. Unless these three are in control, you cannot pass part one. Homework. I think you have your Pegasus active. In that, some online recordings must be also there. Who's which batch? Have you guys ever seen that recording? This will be your homework. It's same question. They have given the inventory and accounts payable. Just put it in the formula. You will still get the answer. 7. This will be your homework. No, not this homework. Please solve this right now. Now. Tell me this. If this you cannot tell, I will not be able to present. You guys have taken it. What kind of selfish human beings are there? AC, what AC? For you guys, there is no AC. For them, there is AC. Huh? Who said this? Okay. Chalo, one person at least gave the answer. It's very simple. I don't know why are you guys overthinking. Ritik, you never answer. Today your father dropped you. I saw. True, na? It's a very common sense question. Something will come in cash budget where money will go out. Recognition that 0.5% of the this is the number. Bad debt so has nothing to do with it. D is irrelevant because money will go out on August 6th. I have not yet explained this. This is in part 2 what is record data now, but they have written payment will be done on August 6th. What is in B? Property taxes levied in the last calendar year means last year in 2025 scheduled to be paid quarterly in the coming year during the last month of each calendar quarter. First calendar quarter is Jan, Feb, March, it will be paid. Second, April, May, June, it will be paid. Third, September. Fourth, December. Where is the money going out in July? What is quarterly? 3 months. C is the only thing. It's like PF and all that employers deduct in India. That has to be then remitted to IRS. Here there is IT department. That is a payment that will be made. There was nothing in this question, to be honest. If B you could have just eliminated by counting the last month of the quarter, your answer was done. Last month of each calendar quarter. The first quarter, Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Then what was there? अरे यूज करो भाई, दिमाग को थोड़ा तो यूज करो. होमवर्क. Now this generally does not comes in MCQs. If it comes in MCQs, you might know the answer but solve it in last. The answer will be very, very lengthy. Cash budget. Cash budget has two components. You have learned them both separately. Cash inflow, that is collection, and cash disbursement, that is outflow. Inflow minus outflow will give you the cash budget, or how much cash you will have. And of course, at the beginning of the period, you will have an opening cash balance, and at the end of the period, you might have an cash budget. If they ask a full cash budget, opening will be there, inflow will be there, outflow will be there, and ending will be there. Accounts receivable is debtor. Debtor means the money that is not yet collected. Cash inflow is where money is going to come in. The cash collection schedule that you were drawing, how much cash will be collected, that is cash inflow. Cash collection. It's not same. Because debtor is the money that is not yet collected. I am here preparing a cash budget. I want to know how much cash will come in and how much cash will actually go out, so that I can plan accordingly. You also prepare your own. Think of it like this way. You have some billings from GOI, Government of India. That is not cash budget. Cash budget is how much you expect the money to come in. Debtors is how much money will still remain, will come in later. Because your revenue is mostly coming from GOI only, right? GOI means, thank you. He used to like this whenever I ask him. No, he knows. So debtors is the money that has not going to come in that much, because a company's lifeline is cash. Just like a house lifeline is also cash and bank, because that is used for everything. You cannot tell to your employees that this is my inventory, take it home as part of your salary. You cannot tell to your suppliers that I have debtors, wait, एक दिन पैसा जरूर दूंगा. That is not how it works. If you don't pay on time, people will stop giving you credit. The default, see, it is very common in your college days. I am talking to boys only, because we are generally quite financially irresponsible people. You guys have better financial management than us. In our college days, we generally used to have an account, right, with that tea shop owner. And at the end of the month, we used to promise him to pay. When pocket money used to, sometimes just before the end of the month, pocket money used to come and we used to stop going to the tea shop only for 15 days. Next time, he was not giving us credit by telling her, for you, it's all cash now. Unless we used to cry and all, then again. This is the thing. Because money is always rotating. This is one of my favorite sentences. I have copied it, I think, literally from, I am a huge devotee of Lord Shiva. I have copied it literally from there. That money is neither created nor destroyed. Money is only rotating. So if the money rotation stops, there is a big problem. That is why cash budget is such an important budget. Like very practical oriented. Now, this is more or less the format. And that is why they more or less don't ask in MCQ. Too lengthy. But if they ask, it will take at least 8 minutes, if not more. Now, in many cases, okay, in many cases, companies need to maintain a minimum cash balance, minimum. Now, let's say opening cash balance is 10. Cash inflow for a month is 25. Cash outflow for a month is 35. Is it possible? Awesome. 40. Is it possible? Very much possible. Maybe in a particular month, business is getting less money and more money has to go out. And let's say business has a mandate that minimum cash. Now, this is the most complicated one, and this is how the questions will generally look like. X Limited provides you with the following data for the month of July 2025. Opening cash balance 10K, cash inflow 25K, cash outflow 40. Company needs to maintain a minimum cash balance of, the borrowings can only be in multiple of thousands. You cannot borrow 100, 200, 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000, 5000. Now, what will company do? In this situation, what will company do is, is the cash disbursement. Now, on what is the balance? Now, of course, understand how will company get the additional money? By taking borrowing. You need to maintain minimum balance. If you don't have it by your own means, you will borrow. They will make arrangements with bank. So balance before borrowings. How much? Huh? 5,700. And they need to make sure that at least 18K is there in the bank. And you are negative 5,700. So ideally, they need to borrow 23,700. So that minus 5,700 becomes plus 18,000, but they cannot borrow 23,700 because borrowings can only be multiple of 1,000. So borrowing will be 24,000. This is short-term credit. Company will pay it back maybe next month only when they will have surplus cash. How much? Huh. Everybody understood this? क्या बताएं? Minus 5,700 and minimum cash balance requirement is, so that means borrowings have to be at least 23,700. इतना मैथ्स क्लियर है कि यहाँ पे भी कंफ्यूजन है? The examiner has told you in the question the borrowing can only be in multiple of thousands. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004 the 4, 5, 6. You cannot borrow anything in between. In this case, if I borrow 17,000, my work will not get done. Sorry, in this case, if I borrow 23,000, I will be left with 17,300. I need a minimum cash balance of 18K. I need 23,700, but I cannot borrow 23,700. So closest multiple 24K. Done. Understood? Note down. Ah, well. Are we done? Chalo then, noted na. I think I've given 2 as homework. 4 is also homework, right? 5 is also homework. 6. Write down 7. Ha, I will solve today only. 9 is homework. 10 is homework. 10 is done. Homework, na? Homework. This is your homework 11. Done. Now see, this is the question you will solve right now. A corporation's current year-end sales total and its ending cash balance was the corp. Now, ending cash balance for this year means the beginning cash balance for the corporation anticipates its sales for the upcoming year will be on average 10% of our sales will be collected during the, so 90% will be collected in that year. Remember last year sales also 10% then will be collected this year. The corporation also expects cash expense of $240 million. Are you guys not reading the question? क्या question है क्या? And depreciation of, that's non-cash expense. During the next year, corporation also wants to spend 30 for capital improvement apart from 240. If the corporation policy is to have minimum 10 at the beginning of each year, what is the budgeted cash flow that it will need outside financing of? Opening cash balance you will get from ending of last year. You have to see cash inflow 90% of this year's sales and 10% of last year's sales, because last year's sales also 10% will be collected. Cash outflow is directly given 240 and 30, and ending cash balance they have told minimum 10 balance 10 million, because this year's end, next year's ending will be beginning of the forthcoming year. How much borrowing is required? That is what they are asking. That's it. Is the question clear? Is the question clear? It's very simple. It's 2026, 25 end data they have given. The closing cash balance on 25 end was 20 million. For 2026, they are asking you to prepare the budget. The opening cash balance will be the 2025 closing cash balance for 26. Cash inflow, you will have to remember, sales of 2026, 90% will be collected and 10% from 2025. Cash outflow is directly given 240 and 30, and they are asking for closing cash balance. इसमें दिक्कत क्या है? इंग्लिश पढ़ो यार, थोड़ा देख लियो क्वेश्चन तो पहले ही रोने लग रहे हो. Huh? What's the answer? These are very easy questions. It's not even complicated. Everybody got this answer? I'm guessing 20 million opening. Sales for the coming year. So 260 into 90%. And last year 240 into 10%. Last year sales also to 10% will be collected. Minus cash out payment of 270 million. That should give you ending cash balance before any borrowing. I'm guessing that is coming to 8 million. And minimum you need 10. So you will borrow. Is it clear? Number should not trouble you this much. Everybody got the answer now? Homework. Write down 14 also. Huh? I will come back to 14 also. 7 I had told now. 14 also I'll come back to. 19. 20 also write down. I will solve it. See, this will first take the image. This is your homework. And then I will thoroughly explain the question. See this. Tidwell Corporation sells a single product for $20 per unit. All sales are on account credit with 60% collected in the month of sale and 40% collected in the. They have given you partial schedule of cash collection only for January through March. So see, they have given cash receipts expected from December. In January, you will get 32. From January, in January, you will get 54. From February, in January sales, you will get 36. February sales, 66 will come in January, February, and 44 will come in. All of them follow the same pattern. 60% in the month of sale, 40% in the month. They have also given this information. Inventories are maintained at 30% of the following month. Tidwell desires to keep a minimum cash balance of. They have even been kind enough to you because this is how the question should generally be given in an MCQ. Total payment in January is expected to be. So everything they have already covered here only. That this which excludes $12,000 of depreciation. Depreciation anyway should be excluded only because no cash is going out. Any required borrowings are in multiple of. They are also telling you the December 31 balance sheet for the last year, closing balance of last year was 24,000. But everything is done. Opening cash balance is 24,900. Entire quarter you will have. Now they are asking not for the quarter. They are only asking for January. They are only asking for January. So you have opening cash. Closing balance of last year, December, is opening balance of January. January cash received they have given. January cash payment they have given. You know the minimum cash balance. Only borrowings you need to calculate in multiple of 1000. Understood, na? Are yes or no? 22 I have already given as homework. Homework. This is same. Inventory AP inventory. 23 also homework. This is a question that will make you cry because it will take at least 45 minutes. Since sales they have given, they have not given you cash. Purchase they have given, they have not given you cash outflow. You'll have to first find inflow, then outflow, then prepare the cash budget. That is, if this question comes in MCQ, at last, if you have any time left, because this will take 15 minutes. This I have given homework. This is also your homework. Same type of questions again. Again and again they are telling inflow again you will have to calculate, outflow again you will have to calculate. Once inflow and outflow are sorted, then only you can prepare the final cash budget. It will take you again 45 minutes to an hour also. The father sees you studying now, na? He's happy. I was in 25 only, Nama. Then MCQ done, option done. You will only take question, not take the options for the 26. It is similar to the question you did yesterday that Nosti Corporation. Here they are asking for cash payment. Done? This is your MCQ option. Uh, I will solve this 27. Homework. They are asking cash payment for April. Huh? This is not a complete cash budget question. Again, increase in cash. Net income means profit after tax. Oh, ignore this totally 29. Ignore 29. This you will only be able to do once you are done with cash flow statement. Not needed. Ignore question number 29. There is part 1 section A cash flow statement where I teach that this will automatically get fully covered. अरे मत डरो भाई पूरा पढ़ाऊंगा चिंता मत करो ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड मेरा साफ है I actually teach a little more so don't worry. This 30 I have given as homework given 31 is also given 32 is not given 33 not needed. This is all diagram if you look what previous and after. Okay. Then what all questions I have skipped? Okay, so let me first go to 7. Huh? Why? I तो also come in it. Let's उठ के आना तुम लोग 5 minutes. So coming from home. You're coming from home. He, so I can still understand and sympathize with him. Huh? I also come, re Baba, 10 minutes before. I wake up at 6 a.m. sharp. I leave by 7. I am also coming from Kurmangala only. I wake up at 6 a.m. sharp. I am here by 8:40. I have my breakfast and I come. Jaldi उठ जाओ. I'm also a working professional. You have my sympathies. 7, why did I skip? A 7th I must have given as homework. Huh? Then what I said was pending, which I made you write. I made you write 7. I solved this. There is inventory and everything given. Not possible. I would not have said 7. Huh? This is what I have to solve. Okay, it will take 30 minutes. Let's have a break only. But you are just solving right now. Because now my throat is closing up. So I have to take attendance now. You'll be in deep problem one day. You'll be in deep problem one day. No, no, from me on. Getting frustrated by a lot of people. But whenever I look through what's my gender, you are always. And him. Or I will just not allow you to sit together. Arvind is absent today also. No? Arvind, Dimple, Gunjan is present now online. Hindushri, Afia, Nitushri, Rakshita absent. Rakshita absent, na? I'm telling all those names who are absent. If I missed any, tell me. Vignesh is absent. Huh? No, he left. He was only there for 2 3 minutes. I cannot mark him present. This is the last question I will be solving for today. An entity is preparing a cash forecast. What else question numbers were there that I left for myself? 20. Wait, one by one. 20. First, you are telling it's 20, right? This one. Okay, this though you will not be able to solve at all. Remind me next class. And 27. Why will I solve this? I have to explain already. What was I doing then? I told you cash receipt is there, payment is there. Before break, I explained this is the homework. What else is there? See this question. A company has a beginning cash balance of 10,000 and expects 40,000 in cash receipts for each of the next 2 months. Typically, disbursements total about 20,000. Company payables policy has to pay the bills upon receipt to maintain good vendor relationship the moment they get receipt bills and take advantage of any. In month one, the company is also expecting a one-time bill, 40,000 for a patent application. Based on this, select the statement that reflects the most appropriate action that company should take relative to the cash position. First month, let's say Jan. Second month, let's say you are telling for only 2 months, right? Opening cash, 10,000. Cash received, they have said they are expecting 40,000 for each of the. They are telling suppliers are on an average paid 20K each month. And they are telling one time patent bill they are expecting. Or now they are telling based on the next four options, what is the most logical thing company should do? Because in Jan, if you see total cash inflow will then become 50 and cash outflow becomes minus. Most likely they should borrow. Let me see. The company should finance the 40,000 payment over a longer term but with a higher interest rate. Why will I borrow money at a high interest rate? I don't have liquidity issues. Company should arrange a short-term line of credit large enough to cover the projected 10,000 shortfall. Ideally, that should be done. Company should defer disbursement. No, I have to pay suppliers on time because I get discount and also good relationships. This is not a solution. It's like telling you don't have money, so pay your friends late. It will hurt your reputation. No action is necessary. No, no. Company will have an overdraft. This is your answer. Is it clear? Because okay. I had said six. People wrote seven. Okay. This is the question. Because I saw this question, I suddenly remembered this is the question. A publicly traded company operates a seasonal business with high production in the month of for which suppliers are paid in order to take advantage of a purchase discount. High sales typically occur in December. Payment is received by the company in January. So what is happening in the first three lines? You have a high seasonal business. So you produce more in November and you pay for that in December to take advantage of purchase discount. Higher sales is in December and money is received from customers in December. Cash budget is given. Opening cash balance 8 lakh. Cash receipts 2 lakh. Supplier payments 5 lakh. Other operating costs and they have to pay dividends to shareholders. Ending cash balance will become negative. Company is considering alternatives. What are the alternatives? Why alternatives? To provide the company with the desired ending cash balance of 75K. They are minus 25, they need plus 75. What is the best action for the company? My face has the options. Do you find it in my face? Always read the question with the teacher. Your life will be easy. Keep on looking at my face. Who is telling answer? Okay. What do you think? All three people have arrived at same opinion. This is the best course of action because they are telling it's a seasonal business. Why will you not pay shareholders their dividend? कितना पैसा लगा रहे थे वो लोग? That is why you don't do group thinking. If one person in the group is wrong, you will all be wrong simultaneously. That is why you don't do group thinking. That's why I say to always think individually. I'm assuming out of you three, one would have pushed more towards A. I know who would have pushed more towards A because to understand what is dividend and all, you need experience. But see, other two, you could not even comprehend because it makes very sense A, that do not pay dividend to shareholders and just arrange 20,000 of loan. Why to take loan of 1 lakh here? But you forgot one line. It's a seasonal business. Shareholders are paid dividend mostly once in a year. Because your business is seasonal, you will eat their dividend and you don't know finance part two, they will destroy your shares if you don't give them dividends. That is not how the business works. If it was a big capital expenditure coming up, then A would have been the answer. Because if it was a capital expenditure, it makes no sense to borrow money and pay dividend when you have capital expenditure in hand. But the first line they are telling it's first of all, it's for working capital. It's like telling a shopkeeper that you will not buy clothes during Diwali. Why? Because lot of investment has gone during the month of Diwali. So he will not take salary or household expense for that month. It's a seasonal business. Always do not complicate situations. Complications, finance is in part two. You also were in group discussion with them. Individually, you came to this unique thing. Very good. Because A was a very good answer. A is a very good answer in the sense that you are trying. First of all, why A? Lot of people said, you also said A. Here also some people said A. Why did you say A, ma'am? Huh? I'm not talking to you, ma'am. What is dividends? So the logic is shareholders are owners. So instead of borrowing, pay them less dividend. But that logic can work. Now let me explain a little bit of dividend policy to you. Though it is there heavily in part two corporate finance, and answer was good. Those who have all said A was good, not you two. My goodness. Speak at least a little louder, re Baba. Profit is dividend. Profit, profit given to the. So you are telling me a loss-making company cannot pay dividend. Where is dividend paid out of? Which account in balance sheet is used to distribute dividends? Which ledger or which account? Where is dividend paid out of? Hmm? Specific. Reserves and surplus, there is general reserve also. There is securities premium also. Shareholder capital. In India, you call that generally P&L account in the balance sheet reserves and surplus. Globally, we call that retained earnings, the profit that has been retained by the company. So dividend is not only profit distributed to shareholders, first of all. The logic here though was that, but understand, and you will understand this much better after doing part 2 dividend, because in part 2 section B there is the corporate finance, a very expensive, means very expansive finance topic, in which there is a something called as corporate dividend policy. You will understand that dividend is also a very important component of maintaining stock price. You cannot cut their dividend, they will destroy your stock price. They will be willing to forego dividend only if they see future share price growth. That generally happens when the company is growing very fast, because in those cases they are okay not receiving dividend today, because company will grow, revenue will grow, profit will grow, and market price of the share will multiply. In other cases they are not happy. In stars they will be happy for going the dividend, not in cash cows. In cash cow, they tell, give me my money back. I will invest it somewhere else. So no, you can't just eat away their dividend. They will start dumping your stocks left, right, and center. I will tell you one fine example. I generally tell this when I'm teaching part 2, corporate finance. There is a bank, I forgot the name, US based, regional bank, not the big ones. I think in 2023, no, 24, second quarter, July, June end July, the bank gave the update that it is reducing its dividends from 40 cents to 21 cents per share. And it was paying 40 cents for years now. Within days, share prices crashed by 80%. Dividend policy is considered to be a signal to the market. We also teach dividend policy in CA final, CA inter and CS executive. No, you don't think just because they are your own people, you can eat their money and they will tolerate. Does not work that way. They are not your relatives. Does not work that way. And do not look for complications in answers where there is no complication. In CMA, study each word carefully, but do not overthink. Try to look for, we are not playing CID here. कुछ गड़बड़ नहीं है. I don't know you guys have even watched CID or not. It was a show of our time. कुछ गड़बड़ नहीं है. It's all plain and simple. But read each word carefully. Now the last question which I have to solve and then wind up. An entity is preparing a cash forecast based on the following information. Monthly sales, December 2 lakh, January 2 lakh, February 3 lakh 50, March 4 lakh. All sales are on credit and collected the month following the sale. So chalo, sales, so there is no problem. December sales will be collected in Jan. Jan sales will be collected in Feb sales will be collected in and March will be collected in April. This is not a problem at all. Purchase are 60% of next month sales. That means December purchase will be 60% of January sales. January's purchase will be 60% of, and February sales will be 60% of, and are paid for in the same month of purchase only. If the January other monthly expenses are 25, which includes 5,000 of depreciation. Depreciation is a non-cash outflow. So out of 25 minus 5, only 20 is going out as cash. If the January's beginning cash balance is 30 and the entity is required to maintain a minimum cash balance of, how much short-term borrowing will be required by the end of? See this question now. January opening cash balance. An entity needs to maintain a minimum cash balance. They are asking how much borrowing will be required at the end of Feb second month. Now, the most complicated part of this question. Loans are repaid in the following month. Whatever loan you took in January, you will have to repay in February. Even if it means you have to take a new loan. But that old loan has to be closed. By God's grace, they have not given interest. The only thing missing from this question is interest. Interest is the only thing that can make this a real question, means that can more difficult. 0.5% interest may be monthly. So you will have to remember that when money is going out, interest will also go out. Now, fine. They are asking for Jan and Feb, right? Oh, I have exact the same correct data only. Now see, they are telling opening January cash balance is 30. 15 is the minimum balance. Okay. Now, cash receipts. Cash receipts only can come from credit sale, and they are telling that all sales are on credit and collected the month following the sale. So December sales will be collected in. So from what's the problem of charger? From December sales. First 2 lakh from December will be collected in Jan. Let's look at outflow. Purchase is 60% of next month's sales. So I need February sales. 60% of that will be purchased in Jan and is paid in the same month. So cash outflow. Supplier, what is the sale of February? 3 lakh. 60% of this. Huh? Thank you. So this is done. There is also other expenses. Other expenses is 25 minus 5, 20. Always put a bracket. Bracket means in accounts or finance we say it's negative figure. Whenever we put a figure inside a bracket, it means a negative figure. So even if you are doing the calculation quickly, your mind is automatically adjusted to understand that bracket means minus. Now, anything else that I have missed? Nah. What is the minimum cash balance? 15, right? I guess first month there is borrowing or no borrowing, I don't know. What is the balance before anything? Balance before borrowing. 2 lakh plus 30 minus 2 lakh 30. Zero. Wow. Who invented zero? Minimum cash balance is entire thing will be borrowed. You have to remember the question can suddenly become very complicated because they will say that interest will also rate they will give. So in Feb you will not only pay the principal but you will also pay the interest. And this money is not for free. You'll have to pay something to the bank. The cash budget will again come in part 2 in a much more expansive form. Done? Now Feb. Opening cash balance of Feb is minimum only 10 because that also I have borrowed, right? Now cash receipts in Feb will come from Jan sales. Have I missed something? It's 10. I must have read it wrong maybe earlier. It's 10. Cash receipts from Jan sales. Jan sales is 2 lakh. Suppliers again, we need to look at March. What is the sale of March? 4 lakh. How much? Expense to will be same only. Remember, loan has to be repaid. The loan that you took in January has to be repaid in. Means they don't allow the loans to roll forward. 10,000. Ideally, this 10,000 should have included interest also. But here they have not given this. What is the balance? Huh? Minus? Minus 60,000. And I need 10, right? I need to borrow. Is it clear? Would you guys like to note it down? Please. And column, there is nothing, just the ending cash balance. Okay, sorry. You need to copy from here now. think that should be decent enough. What is the last question? 20, I guess. This I cannot solve today. Anything else that I have left? Okay, this also you don't need to solve right now. I'm telling you why this is again like that question part of cash flow statement, which will be discussed in part 1, section A only. So once your cash flow statement is come, you can revisit these two questions. It will be easy because there I will solve these questions only. Once cash flow statement is done, you will know that you start with net income, you add depreciation expense. I think those who have done in BCom will know a little bit indirect method of cash flow statement. And those who have not done, anyways, I will teach from scratch. So these both are directly related to cash flow statement. This has cash budget and cash flow statement are more or less same. How is it different, cash budget and cash flow statement? What is the difference between cash budget and cash flow statement? Quickly answer me. I don't have time for all this that you will think and you will waste my time. Quickly. Think for 1 minute. Put sentences together. Then explain it to me. Only in flow. Two of them give the correct answers. That budget is always prepared for upcoming period. Cash flow statement is for the period that has already ended, past, not current. There is nothing called as current. Cash flow statement is for the past, whatever has actually happened. Budget is for future. As much it is not working, then it's a problem because your brain is refusing to think. That will, to be honest, that will create problem for you all. Because if your brain is refusing to think, then it's a problem because examination will create situations which will force you to think. That's why I always say think. Answer right or wrong is always irrelevant. Thinking and coming up with an answer is very important. You guys have become such to you that whatever I teach, only you know that. You and you both are good, but you both are only good in whatever I have taught. What if outside of that starts coming in examination that needs application of what I have taught? The mind will stop working. That is not how CMA, CPA, these exams will work. I'm not setting the paper now. And you both have actually given up totally thinking. Not how it works. Because if the paper is not as per you both, exactly word by word of what I have taught, because you will not be able to apply. If you are not able to think, you will see a new question in the exam, your mind will just die right there only. Your mind has to be creative in order to solve many questions in the exams. You also, same trajectory. You also, man, same trajectory. You guys are good, but only on what I have exactly taught. Is you have stopped thinking. Essay type, simulations, if they start creating scenarios, your mind will go dead there and then because you don't want to think. If everything what I have taught is come, you guys will score very fantastic marks. But that is a serious problem. Learn to address it. Right or wrong is irrelevant. You need to start giving up answers. Right now, examination season is going on. I am receiving every day. Students, every right now also my phone will be full. Somebody would have wrote it today and would have received a unique question and is now asking me, this came in exam and we are shocked. They somehow wrote it in the exam. But if your mind is not, has given up on thinking, you will not be able to write anything. Learn to be creative. I have multiple times told budget is always for the upcoming period. And actual financial statements is what has already happened. So one is past, one is future. Basically, there is no difference apart from that. No inflow, outflow. Who was telling that inflow, outflow to me? Inflow or something, something, something. No, no something. It's same. They said current, but fully acceptable. It's more or less correct only what they said. Like budgeted balance sheet is also there. What is the difference between budgeted balance sheet and balance sheet? Balance sheet is as on is already happened. Budgeted balance sheet you are forecasting. Budgeted P&L is also there. What is the difference between budgeted P&L and actual P&L? Actual P&L is actual profit from transactions that have already occurred. Budgeted P&L is what will or what you are expecting to occur. Might might not occur, but you still are preparing a budget to plan for advance. There is no difference apart from that between budgeted cash flow, actual cash flow, budgeted balance sheet, actual balance sheet, budgeted income statement, actual. You will call this pro forma financial statements. That is the last part of the B6. Generally comes in essay type. Generally. Nothing. All the data is already there. Sales, purchase, everything you have learned. They will ask you just to prepare a pro forma means budgeted P&L, budgeted balance sheet, budgeted cash flow. The only difference is budget is always prepared for future, and actual financial statements always talk about past because it has already happened. If today also I am preparing, I cannot prepare it while simultaneously including the transactions. I have to prepare it as of time cutoff. So you guys need to, especially you three, because you three are good. You ma'am also. You four are good. You have very high accuracies. So of course you will be able to solve questions also. But essay type, if something unique comes, mind will collapse. One student gave me a question yesterday uh, from economics. She is telling me inverter business. It came in exam. Inverter business. And government has withdrawn the subsidy. Now, as per five forces model, what the company should do, and as per law of economics, what pricing strategy company should follow. Now, tell me, where do I teach this? They are telling inverter business. I was just going back from here only, then I received this text. I had received this text actually 2 o'clock only. I listened, read it at 7 o'clock when I was on my way back. That, sir, this was the question. She wrote it yesterday. That, sir, this came. One part they are telling Michael Porter five forces model, another part they are asking the pricing strategy. Now what will you apply? And of course she wrote something. You have to write something. But for that you need to think. This is every time the answer. यो एग्जाम डे सडनली भगवान आ जाएंगे तथास्तु नहीं बोल देंगे ब्लैंक हो जाओ. She was just asking me, I have wrote this. I said, हाँ चलो. Something to the point you have written, as long as you can justify. Essay type simulation, they are challenging. Essay type will go away after June. You will be left, thankfully, with only simulations. But that is more challenging in a way because in CPAVT simulation, that will involve multiple topics at once. Some in one simulation they can put from section. Right now, demo is not there. Let institute come up with demo, but from September onwards, only simulation will work. In one essay type or simulation only, section B will also be there, D will also be there, A will also be there, E will be also there. Only MCQ, but everything will be there. So one part they will talk about depreciation, another part they will talk about five forces model, another part they will talk about standard costing, another part they will talk about cost management. Concept needs to be more refined. Chalo, thank you.